Welcome to another edition of Business Today, where we look at in depth the business world and its dealings. As always, we have two very exciting segments lined up for you. And first off, it's going to be the personality segment. Now, today for our personality, we are looking at an entrepreneur, but he also happens to be an inventor. So who is it? Let's find out.
Dr Nandadasa Narayana is the founder and chairman of Flexport Private Limited. He is a mechanical engineer who worked for many years at the State Timber Corporation as well as Port Commission. He followed business studies at the Stanford University in the US. He is an inventor of QuirePack and PackGrow natural packaging system to replace plastic and expanded polystyrene. These inventions won the first place at the International Inventors Awards held in Geneva, beating over thousands of inventions. It was declared as a global solution by the World International Property Organization, World Trade Organization, the United Nations, and the World Packaging Organization. He was the first Sri Lankan to win its first prize at the International Inventors Exhibition held in Geneva for his concept of PackGrow and QuirePack, which has a $545 billion market. He has established FlexSide Flexport Center for Innovation Incubation and Enterprise Development as a CSR initiative, which contributed to the development of 50,324 entrepreneurs in 104 coconut growing countries.
Dr. Nandadasa Narayana is in the studio with us. Great to have you on.
Sure.
Thank you for joining us.
Yes.
Now, of course, you're the founder and chairman of Flexport Private Limited.
Flexport, now it's Flexport Innovations Private Limited.
Flexport Innovations Private
yes.
Limited. And I think we'll start off from there.
Start.
What the company is, how the name came about, and the motivation behind the start of the company.
Yeah, that's a good question. First, let me see. I was an automotive engineer. When you have a automotive engineer, there is rubber technology, thermodynamics, all sorts of things. So luckily, I started that, and I thought you can convert to various areas, business. So because I always feel that you should not stick to one. You should not stick to one. So I thought I must study about the various areas of engineering. So I joined Port Commission. And the Research and Development Division of Port Commission under Dr. Kulusinghe. So luckily, he was an inventor also. So I picked up certain things that which I never thought. And that was the start of the project. And then that was in 1964. At that time, we were paid only 62 and 50 cents, very low price. But still, we can survive that time. And I thought that time, the usual engineer is paid about 500 rupees, 25 rupees. And I got, after training, I got that. And I thought I should do something. But usually we have problem in Sri Lanka. Engineers can do many things. They can make things, but they don't know how to sell. So I had that problem also, that I know how to make it, but I don't know how to sell. That is why the reason for me to go to Stanford to learn about business management.
Yeah.
That before I should expose a very important thing. When I wanted to make a name for the company, I thought, how can I put the name? Because I had 3 girls.
Okay.
There's no sons. So I thought, well, what is the point of making a business also, that one day they will take away and I have nothing to leave. But the daughters has to work under husbands, so they have no control over it. Then luckily, after 11 years later, I got a son. His name is Dr Narayana. Now he's a project man. Sorry, he's a senior manager at a blue chip company. Their profit was almost 2 billion. Why I sent it there was I want to train him, because I know I had a large project set coming up, and he should be able to take over in my transcendence. So then the first thing what I did was to make a name. When I go back to my hometown is Mathura, My wife is from Galle. And whenever I go there, I checked the names of companies. Everywhere they say, and sons. So this man had no sons. So what I do? Then I thought, I say, no way of finding the name. But I knew that I can make various things different. Yeah, that is called flexport, flexible exports. My concentration on exports. Then I was thinking of flexport. Then I used to write to various countries to get certain interested parties for investing in us. Nobody replied me. The reason was, I will find most of the companies say, you have to make it a limited company. So to make a limited company, I have to spend at least 2,000 rupees. 2,000 rupees is at that time, it was 4 months salary, right? So it is not possible. So but what I thought was, I had to find some solution. Right? I had to put an LTD, Flexport Limited. Then I thought how to do it. I evaluated a system. LTD stands for Little Three Daughters.
Yeah.
Little Three Daughters. So I had 3 daughters, like they are very young, kid-like. So I made that company name. And I went to registration branch and I gave it to that registrar. He said, no, this is not limited company. Little Three Daughters. You write as limited. I said, these are abbreviation. I put apostrophe, not a dot. Okay. LTD and apostrophe. Then he couldn't say anything. He registered. So I used to send letters to other countries. I got a lot of replies. And I developed certain new technologies through that. What I'm going to say here is, when an entrepreneur wants to do something, he finds some way.
Where there's will, there's way.
That's a very right. Also, you have put little innovation thinking, creative thinking. That is what I did. Ultimately, when I went to Stanford, they published in the alumni magazine, the one professor said, this is how, when an entrepreneur wants to do something, he'll somehow do it. So I am in that form.
Yeah.
That is how I started.
Very flexible.
Flexible.
Flexport, of course.
Flexible exports.
It's something similar to that. That's your mindset going in. Now, of course, the company, when you started out, that was in 1964. Since then, it has evolved. So can you speak a little bit about the evolution process to bring Flexport to the company it is right now?
Those days, there was no sign industry in Sri Lanka. So people come to me with various things. My tagline was, you name it, we make it. So people come with, I never thought. But being an engineer, I had to find solution. Then I developed almost, up to now, I have developed 174 production processes. Those are all indigenous. So because of that, I always come up in competition. No problem with competition. I don't care for the competition because I always make something new.
Yeah.
What happened was, then people come to me, even though those architects. The first job we got was Oberoi. I made out of brass, and with that I got a lot of business. There's an organization called they who do research for what I forget the name. Long ago. They said we have got 85% of the market share in science.
Okay.
Yeah. So that I had a very profitable job. So I used to buy lands and all sorts of things. So, but I never spend money on various things. But the only thing is I used to buy land. The reason I know, when you buy a land, rather than putting in the banks give about 8 to 12%. But that one enhanced many times. After 40 years, I have got a factory in Ratnapitiya. I bought it at 400 rupees. Now it is 3.7 million, more than 2,000 times.
Yeah.
If you deposit that money in the bank, nothing will get like that. So that's the thinking.
So
always thinking different, yeah.
Even when it comes to depositing money and of course savings, it's a very important topic. I think that's what makes your portfolio grow. And moving on to the company now, of course, you, like you said, you diversified a lot. You made anything and everything that people needed. You were there to provide it. And of course, with that came some flexible, actually innovative solutions that you made. Now, of course, your packaging system that was
that's a very interesting one.
Yeah,
I know in Mathura, we had a large mounds of coal dust. They burn. Those days when you are coming back to school, I will go up, jump, and nothing happened to us. Over 40 feet high.
These are from the
Mathura, coal dust. And I thought it's an ideal packaging material. I studied this. I got a scholarship to Korea Design and Packaging Center. I went there. I researched on it. I was not a packaging engineer, but I studied that. And I found it's one of the superb packaging material because it has the micros porous. Because the Mother Nature never do anything wrong. But the coconut tree is almost 60 feet high. When it drops from that 60 feet high, when it drops, it doesn't crack.
It doesn't break.
Kernel is so tough now, it should crack. The Mother Nature made a system where packaging by coir husk. Yeah. The husk has a thread, fiber, and pith. So because of that, it absorbs. I thought that's a Mother Nature never make a wrong thing. So I thought I must develop, and I picked a packaging. That is how it started. And I won the first prize in Geneva, BT 4-3 countries. And very interesting thing is, when you throw away, you can grow trees. Also, when you collect the stuff, you have another 18 users out of the material. So we send the product to foreign countries, they collect the product, and they can make other 18 signs. So that's a huge market. And when I got the first prize in Geneva, I was the first Asian to win that. They said, you can make Sri Lanka eco-friendly packaging hub of Asia.
By just
now we have come to that level, so I'm very happy about it. And we have made about 127 product lines. I spent about 300 million on research and development, and so most of the time went on those research and development. Now we are in a very strong position to deal with.
Now, of course, you're mentioning research and development, the 300 million you spent. Yeah. What is your view on the R&D culture? What should be the focus in Sri Lanka?
My focus was, we must always find a problem. I know that styrofoam is a very big problem for the world. That's called white pollution. Yeah. But this one is a total natural product.
Biodegradable.
Yes, and CNN World News carried a news story. Thanks to your organization, Rupaini, they put me into that, and I had a discussion with them. And in that, they said Sri Lanka invented the world's first garbage-free pack. When you throw away, you can grow a tree. So that's also an interesting one. Packaging, you can grow trees. So when you throw away a styrofoam, expanded polystyrene, you can do that. Here, you can do. That's what happened was, college times of Saudi Arabia and so many countries, they all were interested in this. Because coconut is grown in 104 countries, right on the world, on the equator, so that we can export to north and south. So that was my strategy. And we give the patent rights to those countries, and they do that. And we get the, for the paper, we get money, foreign currency. Very unfortunately, we had a problem with the bow. I couldn't do that. And I got an investor from Canada. He was prepared to pay almost for $300 million US. 300 million US dollars. That's a larger. BUI said, this is the Flexport is the largest investor for Sri Lanka. But they came to Sri Lanka. They sent me about $30,000 to start the business, startup capital, yeah. And I did it. And very unfortunate, the president wanted me to get the country to classify our company as a flagship company. Yeah. So 300 million, large amount, right? Then that was in 1996, I think. Mm-hmm. And what happened was when that particular president came about to come, 3 days ahead, he tried to come, the PETA bomb went. Oh, that was the end of the story. So they took over my all investments by Toronto Dominion Bank. So they took over, that was the end of it. That is, so I went to hibernation.
Right
but
now.
By hibernation, I didn't keep quiet. I developed various other things. And I found a system to pay my 300 million loans, because otherwise I can't get any my loans. So then what I did was I started doing some research on nanotechnology. I found a system where I can plate anything under the sun except air. I can plate gold, silver, bronze, or any color.
Okay.
So that is how I developed. Ultimately, what happened? 300 million, all paid by the money is coming from the invention. What I'm going to say here, the message to our inventors, never come down your mind. You must always say, hold it and do it, there are so many problems comes in.
Persistence and innovation,
yes,
I think.
Persistence, that's the correct word for it.
And of course, now I think apart from your inventions, your R&D, now you're inspiration for people who are doing that stuff. Entrepreneurs, inventors, if they want to make something, if they see a problem, they should go and actually fix it. But apart from that, you have actively gone out and encouraged young inventors.
Exactly.
Can you speak a
yes,
little
that's
bit
a
about that?
very interesting one. That is how it happens. That now, because of the war situation, I can't make use of my worldwide patent. I allow the people to use it. And in the equator, there are 104 countries. I said, no. What happened? No, they started making things. So I called them inventorpreneurs. They pick my ideas and they started doing it. People make machines for it, and then 50,325 people were born from my patent. So because of that, World Intellectual Property Organization, the World Packaging Organization said, this man has made a social, we have to call him as a social entrepreneur. So I did it. So I thought, I am building people outside. What about Sri Lanka? So that's why I thought that for the country need a lot of set of inventors. What I conceive of this way, I knew if you can develop one inventor, you can make 100 jobs. So that means when we make 10,000 inventors, you can get 1 million jobs, new jobs. Yes. So what I thought of, that is the ideal thing for the present situation. Because I think last government was trying to do but 1 million jobs, couldn't do much. Yeah. So I thought, now present situation, it is open for me to do that. So I am going to get 10,000 inventors and 1 million jobs. Yeah. So that's one problem here. Why I had a lot of experience on this crib entry, central bank crib entry. When you don't pay, after 3 months, they send to central bank and then say no loan to them. Mm-hmm. That was a very serious one for inventors. But I had a discussion with the World Bank official. They say that is correct for traders. Traders bring the goods and sell. It takes 6 months. Within 6 months, they can settle it. But inventors are different. Inventors, when you make something like what I did, it takes almost 10 years. So by the 10 years, my name is there, and I couldn't get a single cent from any bank for 20 years. I suffered. But did I stop? No, I didn't stop. What I did? I developed new things. That's when this new process came to beat the kind of world, and my prices were 700% less than the Chinese price on nanotechnology. Yeah. Thanks to my brother, who's a research and development director, I gave him to develop it. So he did it. Now, so we are established to do that. And recently, I got a job from Army headquarters. Yeah. That particular 56 billion project, they want to make a model. I made the model. Now everybody said there are jobs for the advanced level real people and BA graduate. I used them, trained them, and made out of rapid prototype technology and chemical million, various things, and I made model. Total thing was made in nano gold plating. They are very excited. So that means that's a now new business coming. The reason is I checked from a Singapore company, architecture company. They want to charge 5 million. We made it for about 2 million. So that means we are competitive. That's what we want to. So that's a new thing. And those advanced level failed people. That is why I said, that is why we made a system, company called Flexseed. Flexseed for Flexport Center for Innovation, Incubation, Enterprise Development. So from that, what I do, I develop people. Yeah. In that, I'm trying to make 10,000 inventors, but there are 50,000 villages and 290 odd Pradesh suburbs. We get together and make a training center for all these people at our place. Yeah. And we train them to develop new things, subcontract work, all sorts of things. KPO and BPO, knowledge process outsourcing and business process outsourcing. These are things that we are going to do in the future.
I think that's some really interesting projects to look forward to in the future. Now, speaking about future now, of course, this is concerning your company and your endeavors. In your view, what should Sri Lanka do to make a sustainable future for inventors and, of course, there are, of course, infrastructure?
Super question. The reason is, last 35 years, I was trying to do something what Kumar Tunga Munida said. He said, if you don't invent, there are no development in the country. So what I thought was, I must do something this. I from Matra, it's a Dikwela, but 14 miles away from my place. And I was thinking what to do. I knew that if you can declare in the 4th of February, they have declared some new things now. So I said, I told our past president, Mr. Maitripala Sirisena, to declare innovation economy, to fight against economic war we have. So luckily he did. I was the last 35 years I tried to do that, but I couldn't do. Everybody, all the presidents liked it, but nothing couldn't happen. What happened was he did it, and now I have a big challenge. I made I got it declared 69th Independence Day, and now I am going to make very important thing for the country, developing inventors. Because the reason is, people say that we can make a wonder of the world. Yes, we can, but only way is by making an invention. That is the easiest way to do to wonder of the world, right? Yeah. That's so. What I'm going to do is I'm get this 10,000 people, but they will have a big problem here. The reason I want to make this is from villages. There are 50,000 villages. So I'm getting connected to AI, artificial intelligence, and make a Sarisara.lk. We are going to make it, and we will get them trained, distantly, and support them to make new things. Like maybe very simplified innovations, not a big things, but country can grow very fast.
And of course, this is one of the reasons you've actually been invited to as the chairman of the Sir Arthur C. Clarke Center for Innovation as well. So something to look forward to. Thank you, Dr. Narayana, for joining us. I think it was a very informative segment. And with that, we'll wind up the personnel segment. We will be having our market discussion segment up next. So stay tuned in. Don't go anywhere.